The day I found out that my kindness had become my death sentence was the same day he thanked me for being so understanding. My name is Jana, and for 3 years I lived with a man who turned every gesture of love into an invisible chain around my neck. In the beginning, when he arrived late without explanation, I made dinner and waited. "You're different from the others," he said, kissing me on the forehead. "You understand me." I smiled, thinking my patience was a virtue, unaware that I was feeding a narcissist who collected my kindness as war trophies. The first time I lent him money, it was only 200 Rs for an emergency. He cried on my shoulder, talking about problems at work, about how difficult life was. Royal tears streamed down his face as he whispered, "You're the only person I can trust. Everyone abandoned me but you." 2 weeks later, I saw him buying expensive clothes at the mall while I ate instant noodles for lunch to save money. When I asked about the money, he exploded, "Are you going to charge me like I'm a stranger?" I thought he really loved me. "Your obsession with money is destroying our relationship." The manipulation was so subtle that I ended up apologizing for asking, promising never to be mean to the one I loved again. Every act of kindness of mine became fuel for his narcissistic abuse. When I cleaned the whole house on Sundays, bathrooms, bedrooms, kitchen, laundry area, he would find a dusty corner behind the television and sigh theatrically. "You don't even notice when you do it badly, right? Look at this here. How can you say you've cleaned the house?" His words were accompanied by a look of disappointment that cut me inside. When he cooked his favorite food, lasagna with sauce that took 3 hours to prepare, he would eat in silence, scrolling through his phone, and then comment, "My mom did it better, but that's okay. At least you tried." The gaslighting was constant, making me question if I really was as incompetent as he suggested. Psychological abuse intensified in the small things of everyday life. He would come home at 7 in the afternoon, and I would run to hug him, eager for a moment of connection after a full day of work thinking about him. But his arms were limp, his expression empty, as if my affection were too heavy a burden to carry. "You're too clingy," he'd say, pushing me away like I was an inconvenient animal. "She needs some time alone to think about life." When I recoiled, wounded, trying to understand what I had done wrong, he sighed deeply. "Now you're making drama because I didn't hug you the way you wanted? You are very needy, Jana. This is not normal." It was a perverse game where I always lost, where my natural need for affection became evidence of my desperation. If I approached, I was being invasive. If I walked away, I was being cold. If I asked how her day was, I was being nosy. If I didn't ask, I was being disinterested. The narcissist had created an emotional labyrinth where each door led to more suffering. For months, he applied the silent treatment whenever I dared to question something. 3 full days of absolute silence. For having asked about a message that arrived on his cell phone at 2 in the morning, he would come home, greet the cat, turn on the television, go to the bathroom, shower, have dinner, all while completely ignoring me, as if I were a ghost walking around the house. A whole week without speaking to me because I questioned why he arrived at 4 in the morning on a Wednesday, with the smell of feminine perfume on his shirt. I begged for a conversation, left notes on his pillow. "Honey, can we talk? I can't stand this silence anymore." He read, crumpled the paper and threw it in the trash in front of me. I apologized for things I didn't even know I had done wrong, promising to be a better, more understanding, less questioning girlfriend. "You don't deserve my attention when you act like this," he finally said after days of psychological torture, as if his indifference was a favor I should thank on my knees. Emotional abuse disguised itself as paternal care. He would cancel our plans whenever I was really excited for something, saying that I depended too much on others to be happy. We had scheduled to go to the cinema to see a movie that I had wanted to watch for months. When it was time to leave, he was on the couch in shorts. "I changed my mind. I think you need to learn to have fun on your own. This emotional dependence is not healthy." When I cried alone in the bathroom, locked up, trying to muffle the sound so as not to bother him, he would knock on the door. "Stop the drama, Jana. Everyone has problems. You're not special." My sadness was inconvenient. My joy was exaggerated. My worry was paranoia. My love was suffocating. He had created a world where all my feelings were wrong, where I was always too much, too sensitive, too needy, too dramatic, too complicated. In the kitchen, as I prepared breakfast for the 2 of us, Scrambled eggs just the way he liked them. Toasted French bread just right. Freshly squeezed orange juice. He flipped through his phone, completely ignoring my presence. The sound of WhatsApp conversations echoed through the silent morning. Low laughter as he answered messages from people who deserved his attention, while I, who woke up an hour early to prepare everything with care, was just part of the furniture. "Good morning, love," I whispered, trying to break the ice of the toxic relationship our home had become. He just mumbled something incomprehensible, as if my voice was an uncomfortable noise between him and the really important people in his life. When I put the plate in front of him, prepared with care, he sighed deeply and looked at the food as if it were garbage. "Eggs again? You don't know how to do anything else?" My ex at least varied the menu. It was my fourth attempt of the week to hit something he liked, but the narcissist always found fault. On Monday, the coffee was very strong. On Tuesday, the bread was very toasted. On Wednesday, I hadn't heated the dish. On Thursday, the table was messy with the vitamins I was taking. No matter how hard he tried, he was never good enough for His Majesty. At work, I had gotten a promotion after months of effort. Late nights, weekends studying to qualify better. It was an achievement that meant not only professional growth, but also the possibility of contributing more financially to our dreams together. I came home radiant, with a bottle of sparkling wine in my bag, wanting to share the achievement with the one I loved the most. "Honey, guess what?" I said as soon as he walked through the door, with a smile I couldn't hide. He didn't even look up from his phone. "I got the promotion I was waiting for. That supervisor position I wanted so much." Absolute silence. He kept fiddling with his phone as if I had talked about the weather. After long seconds that seemed eternal, he muttered without raising his head, "Oh, that's good for you." There was no hug. There was no congratulations. There was no genuine interest. There was no question about details. There was no pride. There was not even a look. Later, when he told his friend on the phone, a conversation I heard from the kitchen while washing the dishes, his version was, "Jana got a little promotion at her job. You think you're the last cookie in the package. You know women, right?" Any little thing already goes to my head. The control he exerted over me was invisible but suffocating, like a snake that squeezes slowly until you can no longer breathe. When I went out with friends, something that happened less and less. He didn't forbid it directly, because that would be too obvious even for me. Instead, she made venomous comments all the week before. "Your friends are all gossipers and jealous, especially that Carla, who just wants to use you. I don't know why you waste time with people like that. They don't really know you like I do." During the meeting, he sent constant messages in the group we had on WhatsApp. "What time are you coming back? Don't forget that we have important things to solve. Is everything okay there? You took a long time to respond. Remember that tomorrow I have that appointment early and I need you to help me." When I got home, he was usually in bed, pretending to sleep. But the next day he applied the ice tactic. He woke up, drank coffee alone, left without saying goodbye. All day long, landscape face, monosyllabic answers, deep sighs whenever I tried to start a conversation. In the late afternoon, when I was already desperate trying to understand what I had done wrong, he whispered in a hurt voice, "It seems that having fun with others is more important than being with those who really love you. You come back different from these meetings, colder with me. Maybe they're putting things in your head about our relationship." Emotional blackmail was a weapon he wielded with surgical precision, like an experienced sniper who never misses his mark. Whenever I questioned his behavior, why he was late, why he didn't contribute to expenses, why he flirted with other women in front of me, he immediately became a victim. "You don't understand what I'm going through. My childhood was very difficult. My father beat me. My mother never gave me affection. My whole family rejected me. And now you want to abandon me too? You're just like all of them." His eyes filled with perfectly calculated tears, and I, who had grown up believing that to love was to care for and protect, ran to console him. "Sorry, love. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to understand. I wasn't attacking you," I said, hugging those who destroyed me inside little by little every day. "You know I love you, right? I would never abandon you." And so, once again, my legitimate pain turned into guilt, and I ended up apologizing for having feelings. At the grocery store, I would walk down the aisles with a mental list of everything he had criticized about my previous purchases. "Why do you buy this brand of detergent? It is more expensive and worse than the other. You don't know how to save. This laundry detergent you chose does not remove stains properly. My white shirt turned yellow. You don't even know how to choose a ripe fruit. Look at this banana. It's already passing. Why did you buy skim milk? I've already said I don't like it. You don't pay attention to what I say. Each product I put in the cart was accompanied by anxiety, wondering if he would approve, if he would find a fault, if he would have one more criticism to make. A 32-year-old woman with a university degree, a postgraduate degree, and her own job, afraid of buying the wrong shampoo. I checked prices 3 times, read labels as if they were important contracts, photographed products to search online reviews before deciding. What should have been a simple task had become a battlefield where I always came out defeated. Social networks became another battlefield in the psychological war he waged against my self-esteem. He stalked every like I gave, every comment I made, every photo I posted. He created a fake profile just to follow me and monitor my online activity without me knowing. Why do you need to post a picture of yourself every week? Are you looking for attention from other men? Committed women don't show off like that, he said, showing screenshots of my posts as if they were evidence of a crime. Look at the number of men who liked your photo. You like that, right? To know that other men are craving you. When I stopped posting photos, trying to avoid further conflict, he found another reason to attack me. Now are you ashamed of me? Don't you want anyone to know you're with me? Your friends must be thinking we're done. That's very embarrassing for me. It was a digital labyrinth with no way out, where any move I made was wrong. If I posted, I was showing off. If I didn't post, I was hiding it. If she liked photos of friends, she was being fake. If he didn't like it, he was being antisocial. He would rummage through my phone when I was sleeping or in the shower. I read old conversations, analyzed work messages, questioned every emoji I used. Why did you send a heart to your cousin? This is very intimate. That laugh emoji you used with your boss. It seems that you have too much intimacy. Did you delete any conversations? WhatsApp is different. His paranoia became my reality. I started deleting innocent conversations for fear of how he would interpret it, censored my own emojis, avoided responding to messages when he was around. During an argument about money, I had asked him to contribute more to the household expenses, since he had been unemployed for 4 months but refused to look for work. He exploded in a fury he had never seen before. You are a gold digger, a heartless materialist. Only think about money. That's what it takes to date independent women. You think you can rule everything. They think that because they make money, they are better than men. He screamed so loudly that the neighbors hit the wall. He threw the remote control at the television, kicked the coffee table, broke a glass that was in the sink. I shivered in the corner of the room, not from physical fear, but from the emotional trauma of being reduced to cruel stereotypes by those who were supposed to love and protect me. All your friends are like that too. Cold women who only want to use men. You learned from them. Later, after the neighbors threatened to call the police and he calmed down, he returned as if nothing had happened. Sorry, love. It's just that I get very nervous when you pressure me. I'm going through a difficult time, looking for a job, and you charging me only makes everything worse. You know I love you more than anything, right? At church, where we went on Sundays at his insistence, we need to strengthen our spirituality together. I saw how he perfectly represented the ideal boyfriend. He greeted everyone with warm smiles, hugged the old ladies, talked about football with the men, held my hand during prayers as if he were the most passionate man in the world. The women of the community told me how blessed I was to have such a caring, so polite, so affectionate man. May God bless you both. You make a beautiful couple, whispered Mrs. Maria, 70 years old, shaking my hand. If they knew that, in the car driving home, during the 15-minute drive, he coldly dissected me like a coroner analyzing a corpse. You talked too much to the pastor. It seems that she is interested in him. I saw how you smiled when he complimented your dress. Or, your outfit was very tight today. Everyone was looking at you inappropriately. You like this attention, right? He likes to tease married men in the church. Or again, you sang too loudly during the hymns. I was trying to attract attention. Humility is a Christian virtue that you have yet to learn. Weekends became emotional minefields, where any misstep resulted in an explosion. If I suggested a walk, cinema, park, beach, mall, he sighed dramatically. Can't you be at peace at home? Always wants to spend money. He doesn't think about our financial situation. It's very consumerist. If I stayed at home, trying to be the home-based girlfriend he apparently wanted, he would complain, "You're too quiet. He has no initiative for anything. She looks like an old woman. Where did that excited woman I met go?" If I took the initiative to plan something myself, researched nice places for us to go, he would be offended. "Now you make plans without consulting me? What kind of relationship is this? You don't respect me." Any choice of mine was wrong in the toxic relationship that became my house arrest. It was like living in a house with landmines scattered everywhere. I never knew where to step without everything exploding in my face. The manipulation reached surreal levels when he began to systematically question my mental health. "You've been very forgetful lately," he would say when I looked for the keys to the car he had purposely moved. "Yesterday you left the keys on the kitchen table. Today you don't remember where you put it. I think you should see a neurologist. It could be the beginning of early dementia." When I finally found the keys in his coat pocket, he shrugged. "It must have been a mistake." But even so, his memory is not good. "You've been very paranoid lately," he would diagnose when I questioned him why he deleted his phone history every night. "He lives seeing things that don't exist, inventing problems where there are none. I think you should see a psychologist urgently. You have symptoms of personality disorder." The gaslighting was so intense and constant that I began to question my own sanity, writing things down in a secret diary to make sure they really happened. When I cried alone in the bathroom, locked up, with tap water running to drown out the sound, he would bang on the door hard. "Are you having a crisis again? You need to take medicine for these emotional outbursts of yours. Normal people don't cry for anything." If I tried to explain why I was sad, he rolled his eyes. "Here you come with your dramatic theories. Everything is a problem for you. You turn any normal situation into a Greek tragedy." On my birthday, I woke up with that silly expectation that every woman in love has. He had left subtle hints for weeks about a book he wanted to win, a bag he had seen in a shop window, even about a romantic dinner at an Italian restaurant that we admired from afar every time we drove by. "It would be so beautiful to have dinner there one day," I always commented, and he agreed. "One day we will, love, when our life is more stable." I spent the whole day waiting. An affectionate message, flowers, a small surprise, any gesture that showed that he remembered the most important date of my year. Nothing. He left in the morning to sort out some things, and didn't hear from him all day. I came home from work and the house was empty. I prepared a special dinner, combed my hair, put on a beautiful dress, lit candles. Perhaps he was preparing a surprise. He came home at 10 o'clock at night with a chocolate bar bought at the gas station, the kind that is on the counter with the gum, with the packaging crumpled. "Sorry, I completely forgot it was today. But you know I don't like these artificial celebrations created by capitalism. The important thing is that I love you every day, not just on a specific date on the calendar. True love doesn't need commemorative dates." I ate the melted chocolate alone in the kitchen, crying silently, while he watched television in the living room as if it were any other day. His family was an active accomplice in the emotional violence I suffered. During the mandatory Sunday lunches at his mother's house, she made seemingly innocent but poisonous comments. "Wow, Jana, you lost a lot of weight. Are you eating right? My son needs a healthy woman by his side." When I cooked something different to contribute to lunch, a new recipe she had learned, she would try it in front of me and sigh. "Interesting. Very different from what we are used to." He always liked simpler, more homemade food, right? Just like I did when he was a child. His father, a man of few words but eloquent looks, looked at me disapprovingly whenever I dared to disagree with something or express a different opinion. If I commented on politics, he frowned. A woman who understands politics usually neglects the house. If I talked about my work, he would murmur, "Women's work is different from men's work. It can't compare." It was as if the whole family was programmed to belittle me, to make me feel inadequate and unworthy of their prince. His sister, 2 years younger, was especially cruel in subtle ways. "Wow, what a beautiful nail. You must spend a fortune at the salon, right? I prefer to invest the money in more important things. What a strong perfume. I wear more delicate, more feminine things. You work a lot, right? It must be tiring not having time to take care of the house and my brother properly." Each comment was a sharp needle in my self-esteem, always disguised as a casual observation. One Thursday night, I found messages from him with his ex-girlfriend. They were not old conversations forgotten on the cell phone. They were messages from yesterday, last week, last month. Intimate conversations, declarations of longing. plans for secret dates, intimate photos she sent, and he responded with passionate emojis. "I miss your smell," she wrote. "I also miss it. Jana will never know what you represent to me," he replied. When I confronted him, with his hands trembling holding his cell phone, he didn't deny it. He didn't lie. He didn't try to make excuses. On the contrary, she attacked with a coldness that chilled my blood. "You saw why you are too curious. People like you deserve to be hurt. He who seeks finds." Then, with the frightening calm of someone who explains math to a slow child, "She understands me in a way that you will never understand. You are different. She is feminine, delicate, does not question me all the time, but I chose to stay with you, even with all your flaws." He should thank instead of making a scandal. The calculated cruelty of the words literally left me breathless. I sat on the kitchen floor panting, feeling like someone had punched me in the stomach. "You're being dramatic again," he said, stepping beside me to get water from the fridge. "That's exactly why I need other people in my life. You're too intense, too complicated." That night, lying in bed next to those who betrayed and humiliated me daily, I understood that I had become a shadow of myself. The strong, independent, confident woman I was before had completely disappeared. In its place, there was only an empty shell, always apologizing, always trying to be better, always failing to be enough. The night it finally fell apart was on my younger sister, Carla's birthday, who was 25 years old. I had planned a surprise party weeks ago because she was going through a hard time at work and deserved to feel loved. I bought a gift with money that I saved from lunch for a month, decorated everything by myself, invited the whole family, prepared homemade sweets until dawn. It was supposed to be a special night, full of love and laughter. He arrived 2 hours late, visibly drunk, stumbling at the door, with red eyes and the strong breath of cachaça mixed with beer. He greeted my family in a grotesque way, hugging everyone with fake intimacy, making unfunny jokes, talking too loudly. My mother looked at me worriedly. My father frowned, but I tried to get around the situation. He was at a work get-together. I lied to my own family. During dinner, he began to make mean comments about everything. The decor was too childish. The food was unsalted. The music was too loud. The guests were boring. When my sister thanked me emotionally for the surprise party and hugged me tightly, he commented loudly, "Jana loves to be the center of attention. He does all these things to show off." The final moment was when my aunt asked about our wedding plans. He staggered to his feet and shouted to the whole room, "Get married? With her? You don't know what she's like at home. Stop pretending to be perfect, Jana. Everyone here knows that you are an obsessive controller who won't let anyone breathe." The silence was deafening. 20 people looking at me with a mixture of pity and embarrassment. My sister stopped cutting the cake. My mother lowered her eyes. My father clenched his fists. I ran to the bathroom and he followed me, pushing the door hard as I tried to lock it. "Now, are you going to blame me for telling the truth? You who forced me to come in these antics of your family? Pretending we're a happy couple when you choke me every day?" He cornered me against the bathroom sink, his face inches from mine, spitting out words like venom. "Your kindness is a prison you build around everyone. You're not kind. You're pathetic. You use your kindness to control people so that they feel indebted to you. You're manipulative. Everyone here thinks you're a saint, but I know who you really are. An embittered woman who hides behind fake smiles." That night, looking at my reflection in the bathroom mirror of my sister's house, with my eyes red from crying and my soul completely broken, I understood that I had become the victim of a perfect system of psychological destruction. Each time I tried to be better, kinder, more understanding, more patient, I fed the monster that devoured me inside, piece by piece, day after day. My kindness had become my own curse, the weapon he used against me. The following Monday, he woke up as if nothing had happened. He made coffee, gave me a kiss on the forehead, said, "Good morning, love," with that smile that one day made me melt with passion. As if I hadn't publicly humiliated myself in front of my entire family 2 days before. As if my tears were invisible. As if the trauma he planted in me was just another ordinary day in his perfect life. 3 months after he finally left my life, taking only a suitcase and leaving debts in my name, I still wake up startled at dawn, when someone thanks me for something, as if every thank you was a prank waiting to blow up in my face.